Greetings, humanoids of the internet. My name is Bob. This is episode number 157 of Journey into Space. To have a successful space tourism program, you need five things. First is you need a place to go. For real life space tourism, that's generally orbit. You need something to do while you're there. That's number two. Ideally, you need a better place to stay than the cockpit of a rocket. So that's number three. You need an efficient system for getting people to and from. In real life space tourism, that has not always been the case. But the more reusable your rockets are, the more that you will be able to keep costs low, and so actually maybe make a profit from your space tourism enterprise. And five, you need billionaires with a lot of money to spend on stuff like this. Now, for number five, I always somehow imagine the Kerbals to have a meritocratic society, and so I don't know if there are any Kerbal billionaires. But if there are Kerbal billionaires, they're going to want a vacation on Minmus, and so I am going to accommodate them. Holiday, 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 holiday. It's a holiday on Minmus. Don't forget to pack a wife. A holiday on Minmus. Maybe the last one of your life. Okay, so this here is on the left is the Minmus Refueling and Fun Station, also known as the Hotel Minmus. It contains mining and fuel tanks and processing equipment and ore tanks to mine the resources of Minmus and to refuel various vehicles, including this vehicle to the right. This is the Minmus Shuttle. It goes from Minmus to Kerbin orbit, picks up tourists, drops off the tourists it may already have, if it has any. Right now it doesn't have any. It picks up the new tourists, shuttles them to Minmus, and comes in for a landing here and docks to this landing point where it can get refueled for the next trip. Now, getting it docked to this thing on Minmus is rather technical, but it is possible to do. Right now what we need to do is we need to get to Kerbin orbit and pick up some tourists. So let's go ahead and hit an F5. Quick save. Let's retract the radiators because I don't want this to get hurt. Track the solar panel. Undock. Gear down. SAS on. Alright, we're going to head to Minmus to pick up some tourists. Right now we have Kerbin as the pilot and Jake Kerbin as the engineer. Jake, strangely enough, even though she's named Jake, she is a girl, apparently, so No, 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 no. That is more than high enough. Okay, up here we have a separate part that's docked to the main shuttle that contains the heat shield for air braking into Kerbin's atmosphere. And now, in order to make this work properly, at some point I will need to undock this and move it around to the back and dock it in the back because the center of mass is closer to the back. So we don't want it to flip around while it's air braking. Okay, we're getting into Minmus orbit. About now. Do I have a periapsis? I do not. Go move up to the apoapsis. A bit of a wonky orbit, but I don't care. All right, now we gotta head to Kerbin, which is right there. And actually, maybe have Minmus's gravity help me out a little bit here. We'll head this way. Head to my maneuver point. Warp up. Okay, I've not tested out this spacecraft. I don't know for sure that it has enough fuel to get to Kerbin and back. I'm guessing it does, but we will find out. Okay, I'm going to attempt a air braking encounter at Kerbin. Play around with that. I may try to use the moon's gravity to retard my my path. The hell is that? Oh, some piece of space junk I put out there. Okay. Okay, well, it looks like I'm having an encounter with the Mun. Let's make sure that I am. Reason why I would care is nope, wrong way. Because I can take advantage of the Mun's gravity to help me out here. Especially if it doesn't cost me much fuel anyway. That's a win in my book. Let's warp on in and see what we got. It's easy to not be able to make up its mind whether it's giving me an encounter or not. I can perhaps improve my chances. Let me see where I'm at here. Alright, well, it says give me an encounter. We will find out. Maneuver. When you're out here, whether you start exactly on the maneuver doesn't actually matter a whole lot. Now, when you get closer to planets, then yeah, you want to be very close to the maneuver before you start the maneuver, or you need to be close to the maneuver depending on how long of a burn it's going to be. But out here, it doesn't matter that much if I go ahead and start the maneuver. It's going to amount to a fairly trivial amount of difference in fuel. Well, let's hope it really does give me an encounter here, because it doesn't seem to be all that sure about it. Right now it's putting me right in the middle of the Mun. I'm not all that keen on that. Would rather that didn't happen. Kind of hard to tell whether I'm actually still impacting the planet or not, the moon. Would appear that I am. Alright, I got a periapsis. That's good enough. What's this doing to my periapsis and Kerbin? you may ask, why would I? It's I have enough fuel probably to make this trip without having to use a gravitational assist. Why would I do it? Well, because one, I'm not sure that I have enough fuel, and two, there's no such thing as having too much fuel. Having more fuel is always better. All right, we're heading in for our Mun encounter. Hello, Mun. Goodbye, Mun. Ooh. Ooh, damn lens flare, bro. Let me see, am I at 1 times? Let's go ahead and get out of this encounter. And see whether good things have happened to my periapsis. I would say that they have. I would say that is a worthwhile encounter. Okay. Now I've got to move this thing from here to here. Let's hit an F5. We'll go ahead and undock this. Switch to that vehicle. Okay, thank God I had a quick save since right before I did this transfer. Apparently, having this here is interfering with the engines because it won't do right. So what we'll do is we will do our adjustments to get our periapsis down first, and then we will transition the heat shield to the back. Or maybe we could try risking just having the heat shield on the front. Although it wasn't really designed for that. The problem is that if I run into problems during the air braking, I won't be able to do any maneuvers unless I jettison the heat shield. Let's go ahead and just do our maneuver. We'll figure it out. Yep. Try this again. Yeah, I saw the heat shield heating up. I was like, what the hell? Apparently all those engines were doing were heating up the heat shield. Costing me a blader. Not low enough. Nope, too low. Alright, well that's good enough. I may try just going in with the heat shield on top. Okay, let's see. Perhaps this is at 43. I think that should be perfectly okay. I'm going to go ahead and move the heat shield to the back. Okay, the heat shield is moved to the back. Unfortunately, while the heat shield is back there, I cannot use the engines. So we'll just have to trust that we have a good air braking encounter. Let's go ahead and warp on in. I mean, worst case scenario, I could just jettison the heat shield, but then, its reusability would be null and void. I mean, I suppose I could actually deliver it up a new one. Let's get put in retrograde. Alright, now I've not done any of these things with this ship before, so could be that Joan and Larry, or whatever her name is, will die horribly, but we will find out. I mean, I've done air braking before. I've not done it with this ship before. Let's go ahead and bring in our solar panels. Bring in our solar panels. And we shall see. Oh, the scatter! I got the scatter mod, and it looks pretty. And the reason why I got it is because it solves a graphical glitch of mine that I've been having. But it also looks pretty. That's nice. All right, here we go. Will Kerbin and the girl named Jake die a horrible death, or will they survive? Look at that shit. Screenshot. Oh, we got heating. What's it on? Landing legs. Landing legs and the heat shield? Heat shield has a blader, son. I may lose these lights. That is a possibility. What do we have an issue? Oh, this the antenna is having an issue. Alright, we're climbing up out of it. We should be fine. Kerbin and Jake are not worried. Air braking is usually, not always, but usually a bit less stressful than entry in the same body. Yeah, I mean, this thing has a finite amount of blader, but that should be good for a few air brakings before I have to replace it. I was really smart, I'd put radiators back behind it. Alright, let's see what we got here. Very nice. Very nice. I still have 2/3 of my fuel, so I should be good. We'll get out about here, and we'll swap the heat shield around so we can actually do a burn to raise this periapsis. And then we will get into a stable orbit, and then we will launch up some tourists. Alright, let's go ahead and get your RCS on. Get you moved around. Locked view. There we go. I don't know why you're pre-rotating here. Oh. Look at this shit. Isn't this cool? This is cool. This is cool looking. Get turned around. Let's slow down. Don't want to damage the docking ports. How we doing? There we go. All right, we got our heat shield moved back to the top. We're going to go ahead and warp up to our apoapsis and get into something like a stable orbit. You notice how this orbit is a little bit tilted off the equatorial? I'm going to have to do an inclination change, and inclination changes are surprisingly costly. If I had been super smart, I would have worried about my inclination at Kerbin back when I was at the moon, because if I had made changes there to improve my inclination at Kerbin, then I would have been better off. But now I've got to change my inclination at Kerbin, and that's going to cost me 119 meters a second. So just kind of if you play KSP, just a heads up, inclination changes are very costly, and if you're on a big planet like Joule, it's even more costly. It can be ridiculous. If you're like at Joule, it can be worth your while to actually get out further away from Joule, out to the orbit of like Bop and Paul, and then do your inclination change there. Because it's so costly to do the inclination change close to Joule. So anyway, warp on in. Then we got to do another burn right after that to get my apoapsis down. All right, we'll do a burn to bring our apoapsis down to about 90 meters, 90,000 meters. I think I'm still okay for fuel for the return journey. I don't know that for sure. We'll move to the maneuver. Looking at a 25-second burn, so about here. Alright, I'm gonna have to do that in another rest of it in another pass. I got a problem now, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls. I'm in a nice equatorial orbit here, but I do not believe I will have enough fuel to get back to Minmus. There's a couple different. Well, the immediate solution is I actually have a fuel tank floating around here somewhere. I can move that up to refuel it. However, part of the whole reusability thing is not depending on Kerbin fuel, so I'm not sure how I'm going to remedy that long term. I mean, I suppose I could build a new shuttle with more fuel tanks, or I could build a freighter that takes fuel from Minmus to Kerbin orbit. That could be a solution. Possibly one that uses ion so that I don't have to burn up my fuel to get here. That is a possibility. In any case, our episode is concluded right now, and then we will take it up again next time. And until next time, hasta la vista. Adios.